think she had a bad dream.
Did you have a nightmare, Victoria?
Hello, hello. This is the Doom Show. Richard, Brad, Jeffrey, Naffa. It's the Doom Show. Hello, hello. This is the Doom Show. Slashers, giallo, and horror. It's the Doom Show. The cuckoo clock interrupts the show. Doomed Moviethon. Death of the old salesman. Sweaty Cameron Mitchell. Hello, hello. This is the Doom Show. Richard, Brad, Jeffrey, Naffa. It's the Doom Show. It's the Doomed Show. Doomed Show.
Hello, and welcome to Hello, This is the Doomed Show. I'm Richard. Welcome to the show, Jeffrey, because I know Jeffrey's here. Hi, Jeffrey.
Incorrect. I am not here.
Oh my gosh, where is you?
I'm up on a mountain with all of my gurus. Just studying the metaphysics.
Oh, shit.
I no longer have a physical form, so you're just hearing my disembodied voice.
Well, hold on. I got some paperwork here, folks. I'm sorry. Usually I would be more prepared, but I gotta... Let me shuffle through this real quick. What I've got here is Jeffrey's resume. And I'm just... it's really long. I mean, Jeffrey, this is pretty impressive.
Thank you.
What we have here... I'm going to just read a couple of key points from Jeffrey's resume. It says here that you're an MD, a medical deviant.
True. Yeah,
And
it was a couple of years in the medical deviant school before I got that. But
and it also says you did some charity work with some, what is this, potato faces? No, wait, meatball heads.
yeah.
Wait, what meatball faces?
I think it was sack of potato head meatball faces.
Okay.
There's variants.
And then I saw this is really interesting to me. You've been raising a boglin for, it says 20 years, 25 years.
20 sounds right. Yeah, I think my boglin's 20 years old.
And the thing that got you this job, my friend. You're an expert on the film called Boardinghouse.
What? Don't say that.
Tell them what you did for the show.
I think by expert you mean I've seen it 3 times.
But you watched the 3-hour cut.
Well, I watched a lot of the 3-hour cut. I watched more of the 3-hour cut than I probably should have.
I feel like you watched more of the 3-hour cut than John Wintergate watched of the 3-hour cut.
No, one thing that becomes immediately clear when watching the 3-hour cut is he was really paying attention to every single editing beat in that longer cut.
Wow.
But we'll get to that.
Oh, by the way, folks, you're listening to our Boardinghouse episode from 1982, the comedy horror film, according to IMDb, directed by John Wintergate.
I think it's kind of how like Tommy Wiseau is very adamant that The Room is a comedy now, but like it clearly wasn't meant to be.
Revisionist.
Like, I'll give John Wintergate and Calisu some credit that it's definitely intended to be kind of funny.
Yep.
Like, there are moments of alleged humor in Boardinghouse, but they definitely meant for it to be a horror movie.
Oh my god.
But it just didn't quite turn out that way.
IMDb is very kind. It's recommending video violence. It's recommending mausoleum. It's recommending aerobicide.
Yeah.
And the nesting and bloodhook.
I think these are all movies that if you like Boardinghouse, you will probably like those movies too.
It's also recommending Cinco de Mayo from 2013, so you know someone paid for that.
Well, that was also put out by Slasher Video.
Oh, I see the little logo.
Yeah, who put out this film on DVD, on a stacked DVD of a lot of not very interesting things.
Holiday-themed movies are good.
This DVD on one disc has the normal theatrical cut. Believe it or not, this movie played in theaters. It is the first shot-on-video feature-length horror film. It was written and filmed in 79, 80, came out in IMDb's saying 82, but it's also saying 83. I heard 84.
Yeah. Wow.
It came out sometime around then. It apparently, it was, they shot it all on video because they obviously could not afford film.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously could not afford anything, really. Video was cheap and it was kind of new. I read on Wikipedia that the producer read an article in American Cinematographer magazine about how George Lucas was experimenting with film shot on video. So he was like, we gotta do this. And so they did. And Boardinghouse resulted.
Holy shit.
But they transferred it to 35 millimeter, so it could play in theaters. I really would like to know what that looked like. I have no idea.
Oh my God.
It must have looked horrible. I've never seen a shot on video film play in theaters.
Oh, that would be very special.
Yeah.
That would be very, very special.
Apparently, it was paired up by the distributor with Jaws 2. So that's one hell of a double feature right there.
Oh my God, poor Jaws 2. I never felt pity for a sequel before.
This film was released on home video under the title Housegeist, like House Guest, but like a poltergeist.
Oh my God!
Which is actually it's a really good title. It's kind of better than Boardinghouse. So.
I agree. I totally agree.
1982, written, directed, and starring John Wintergate, also known as Johnima. He's also got some other names. Like,
oh my God,
Rick something. I don't even remember. They're all fake names. His name is Hawk Adley is his fake name. That's great.
Wow.
His name is John Wintergate. We'll talk more about him, but it's basically a vanity project for him and his wife, whose name is Calla Sue.
Oh my God.
That's all her name. It's one word, Calla Sue.
That's one of the things I was so excited about was going into this movie, knowing that his wife was in it, not knowing which of the many women in this movie was his wife, and then finding out later it was the lead, and I was just blown away that was his wife. That was amazing.
Why so? Why blown away?
I kept guessing on who would marry him.
He's a little bit like a Boglin. I think that my Boglin grew up to be Hawk Adley.
Ooh.
I guess we shouldn't be too mean to them because they almost definitely like have a Google alert on their names, so they're definitely going to hear this.
Oh, they will be all over us.
So let's be nice.
This is the show first. Hello, this is the Doom Show. First time ever, to my knowledge, where we are reviewing something that was shot on video.
Yeah.
How do you feel
VHS. About shot on video films? I mean, I'm a big fan. I don't know.
I like them. I've definitely seen a few. Like, what's one that I really like? Wood Chipper Massacre.
Okay.
I'm very fond of that movie.
Uh-huh.
What else have I seen shot on? I've seen Video Violence, the aforementioned Video Violence 1 and 2.
Video Violence is really good. I like that movie a lot.
It's a good time film. It's a good time movie. I didn't like Camp something. It was really rapey and just endless degrading to women. Like it was
is it Cannibal Campout?
Cannibal Campout. Yeah, that was a little rough.
Okay.
I didn't enjoy that one too much. I just praised Video Violence and then, I'm a hypocrite.
Yep. I love Sledgehammer. That's a great one. That's a David Pryor film. That's the guy who did Aerobicide.
I've definitely seen Aerobicide. Is Aerobicide shot on film or video?
That I'm not sure of. I know that the upcoming release, also from Slasher Video, was transferred from a beta tape. But I don't know what it was shot on.
See.
I also love Things. Have you seen Things?
No, I've heard good things about Things.
Well, whoever was telling you good things was lying, but it is a great movie.
Oh, no. Aerobicide definitely shot on film.
Okay. Yeah, it looks a lot better than most shot on video films. Shot on video films, horror films, for our listeners are generally really more inventive than you'd think. I mean, it's a cost-saving measure by shooting on video, which was a relatively new technology in the early 80s. But it allowed them to, because they're not spending all this money on buying actual film, which is super expensive and, runs out pretty quickly. They're able to get a little bit more inventive with things like violence and gore effects. And they don't have a lot of money to begin with, these amateur productions, but they're able to devote more of their efforts towards that. And they usually all do, to varying degrees of success. Most shot-on-video films are very goopy. And Boardinghouse isn't really an exception, even though it's got different things in mind. It stands out from the genre or the subgenre rather, because it's a little bit before that subgenre came into its own by being the first.
A pioneer of the genre.
Yeah. Both a pioneer and totally singular. Nobody took a lot of influence from Boardinghouse going forward.
No one followed this.
On September 18th, 1972, the Hoffman House was closed due to several mysterious deaths. The house was reopened as a boarding house. And the body count continues. I wonder who will be next to check out of the boarding house. Boarding house, where the rent won't kill you, but something else will. Boarding house. In Horrorvision.
I guess we should get into it, right?
Yeah, I know. We've prefaced this enough. This is good.
Well, I mean, there's definitely more prefacing to do, but we'll just save the preface for later. We'll make it an afterface.
We learned how to preface from this movie. We get our Horrorvision warning right at the start.
We
do. You know, this shit ain't fucking around, yo.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about Horrorvision. It doesn't seem very effective.
It tells you what to look for, and then it never does anything it said it was going to do.
Yeah, it tells us that whenever we see a gloved hand psych out come from the top of the screen, we're supposed to look away if we're of the faint of heart. Or if we hear this sound, which is like a keyboard sound that sounds like every other keyboard sound in the movie. So in an interview with them on the Slasher video disc, they say that Horrorvision was like kind of a gag, but also, they didn't want to have like any bad karma by scaring anybody too much. So they wanted to give fair warning whenever anything creepy was going to happen on screen.
Holy shit.
Which again isn't really true because they rarely employ Horrorvision.
No.
I think like maybe once or twice.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, I mean, it does show up very rarely though. It's just a gag. It's not my favorite kind of O-Vision.
No.
In horror films. I really like what is it? Psycho Vision from what is it? Bloody Pit of Horror. It's not like a gag thing like look out for this in the film.
Yes.
Rather it's just saying this movie's filmed in Psycho Vision.
I
Deal
forgot
with
about
it.
that. You're fucked.
It's over. Yeah.
Blue Star Presents. It flashes on the screen for a second. And then we get the title Boarding House. I love this Halloween-esque music that they're using here. This is just wonderfully derivative synthesizer tones. I love it.
I think they just hit one of the sample songs and just let it play.
Oh, yeah. There's some great, really awkward moaning and screaming from a woman over this part that it was making me uncomfortable because it's like one of those murder, sexy sounds. Like,
right.
Oh.
Let's call it what it is. It's credits orgasming. And that's when we know, right from the start, that this film is screwed.
Zing! We get some credits, which I don't know. They looked so bad on my TV. I'm like...
Yeah.
Okay, there's something happening on my screen, and somebody's in this, and then the movie, it's like the movie's already broken at this point.
Yeah, if you're not watching the DVD, which is like of pretty okay quality, considering everything, you can't, like if you're watching a rip at home, you can't read the credits or like the first 10 minutes of the movie, which is all text.
Thank God for the voiceover.
Any of it. Yeah, the voiceover is necessary.
Because this immediately goes into the history of the boarding house, which is also called Hoffman House.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do agree with you. Housegeist. Man, should have had some Housegeist up in this bitch. But we learn this very chilling, we get this very thing that happens with the voiceover explaining all these horrible events, and I'm more confused about the house than I was before I knew nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have some insight into any of this?
No. I wrote some things down about
Let's hear them. What do you got?
There was a 16th anniversary of something.
I don't know. Exactly what was it?
I think marriage, maybe? Yeah, but it's like an older couple. It's in 1972, I know that. There was a party, I think, that they threw, and everybody died. And then, but except for them, the couple, they're still alive. But then they died too. There's a double suicide.
Yeah.
And those are the Hoffmans.
Yep.
And they have a child who's committed to an asylum because witnessed the double suicide. But then there's new people who buy the house.
Yes.
And then it's another couple, another older couple, I think. And then one of them is sitting by the pool and is attacked by bees. I don't know if he's actually attacked by bees, but it sounds kind of like keyboard bees on the soundtrack.
He just fell in the pool.
He falls into the pool and he drowns.
Yep.
Because I guess he can't swim.
Then this filter is applied that is a ghost or a demon that we'll maybe see later. It looks like someone spilled some digital tomato juice on the movie. And I'm guessing the guy's wife is inside and the disposal is stuck.
I wrote that the tomato juice, well, it's a figure.
Right.
I mean, we don't really ever learn who this figure is, I guess, really. I mean, kind of, but we don't know why it looks like what it looks like. It kind of looks like if Sweetums from the Muppets was made of tomato juice, perhaps. I have a shocking number of Muppets references in my notes.
Oh my gosh.
For this movie.
I like that.
By that I mean I have 2. But that's still a shocking number, I feel.
That's 200% more than I thought we'd have.
And me too. But, here's where we are.
So the lady sticks her hand down the clogged disposal drain, and of course it turns on too much screaming and blood squirting.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And then we're told that there's more mutilations in the house.
Yeah.
They continue for a while. We're in like 1978, and really humorously, it keeps saying, file closed. File reopened. Like, why couldn't we just continue the file?
Oh, make up your fucking mind. And what's amazing is that this strikes me as just time wasting. Like, they're trying to fill up a movie that was too short.
Oh, no.
Like, it was under 90 minutes, so they have to...
Oh, no.
But no, that's not the case at all. It's so indulgent.
Lot of time. They had a lot of footage. A whole lot of footage. I mean, I guess we haven't actually said it yet. There is... On the DVD, there are 2 cuts of this film. There is the normal cut, which is, I think, like 98 minutes long. It's pretty long.
Yeah, it's sizable.
Yeah, and then there is the original version, the director's cut, which was actually not fully edited together until 1999, I think, by John Wintergate himself.
Well, he's waiting for Y2K.
I thought, what if the film was actually what was maybe going to cause Y2K?
No. It's prevented all of the disasters.
Oh, thank goodness. Well, anyway, this version of the film is an hour longer. It is almost 3 hours long.
Jesus.
They had a lot of footage to choose from.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, when you film your cocaine-fueled parties for 2.5 years, you're going to have some shit.
That is mostly what the director's cut is.
Oh, folks, I promise you, no simulated drug use in this film. It's all real drugs. Promise.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but I promise.
So, I mean, one thing we have to address is that, they made this film and then it was kind of taken away from them and cut down to what it is now. And this is a really disorienting film. Like, we're going to be rapidly jumping in our account through, a lot of different things that don't really follow from one to the next.
I swear to God, yesterday was my first viewing of this film. I had never seen this before, and it was overwhelming. It is ridiculous. So my notes will reflect what I could piece together was happening in my living room.
Yeah.
Holy shit. We finally get to the star of the show. We're talking writer, director, actor, producer,
potential monk, maybe?
Oh, everything. That's
Guru. Yeah.
That's a triple threat of like 16 things.
Uh-huh.
His name is Jim Royce, and he is played by John Wintergate, who we've been singing the praises of so far.
Oh, yes.
Most importantly, he's wearing a pink tie, a pink skinny tie, because holy shit, stylish gentleman here.
His, I guess maybe it's his uncle or somebody was the latest owner of the Hoffman House, but had a stroke and died suddenly.
Yep.
All of his estate is being transferred over to Jim.
And Jeffrey, who does Jim look like?
Oh, it comes later in my notes, but I'll spoil it now.
Please.
I said he looks like, he looks a little bit like somebody put a feathered wig on Skeletor.
Oh, man, I like that. I was going to say that he's Rod Stewart's mini-me. But there you go. That's all I got.
Good. Yeah, so I've got that and definite Boglin.
Oh,
Definite
yes.
grown-up Boglin, for sure.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're a Boglin and you grew up looking that good, more power to you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, he really grew into his boggish feature.
Wow. Now we jump to what, seriously, this early in the game is one of my favorite moments in this fucking movie.
Mine too.
Sherry, she's a very cute girl in a lab coat. She works at the Camilla Sanitarium?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't write
Something
down
like
the name.
that.
Yeah. It's a hospital for the
Yes.
insane.
And she is approached by a coworker who I wrote down is David Cross without his glasses, but it's not.
Yeah, he's an orderly. She's a doctor. He's an orderly.
Oh
They I guess they have a thing going.
He brings her a rose.
Yeah, he brings her a rose, but in the creepiest fashion possible. He just like silently walks up to her and then like sticks it in the crook of her arm.
Oh man, that's how you get girls.
I think that's how you engage someone. Like that's how you get engaged.
Oh, I did not know. I messed it up.
You did.
My bad.
Well,
what I love about this is that she is very trepidatious about this Hoffman guy, who, the Hoffman person in the sanitarium.
Mm-hmm.
And she's asking him if evil exists. And she's just terrified. And this dude laughs in her face and holds it too long. Like, it could have been a simple, ha, you're crazy. But it's like, ha, 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 I'll play the moment. I'll play the fucking audio. I love this part.
Oh, it's the Hoffman case.
Well, we're getting rid of it today, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, but I need to talk to Dr. Melvin about that. I don't know, do you believe in evil, in evil powers, thoughts?
I think you've been working here too long. Come on, let's go inside.
She just looks like she's afraid of this guy.
You've been working here too long.
Yes. Oh my God, it's so good.
There's no place more evil than a hospital.
Yeah. They go inside, and I'm going to tell you, working at the sanitarium sucks ass. Because aside from getting murdered momentarily, Sherry is under a lot of pressure from her coworkers who are total dickheads. But Darth Vader shows up and starts attacking her.
I don't know if we can call it attacking.
This is the moment that had me terrified of this movie. I'm going to play the breathing.
Okay.
You got to hear this breathing. This was like, I can't watch this. If this is going to be the whole movie of this breathing, I am done. Because it is so loud and so annoying as this black-gloved hand is waving at her while she strips down to her negligee or whatever.
Yeah.
And then proceeds to hang herself with a pair of pantyhose, presumably her own.
Yes. I would describe the breathing as Jason Voorhees with seasonal allergies.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, he's really stuffed up, man.
They don't have Zyrtec on the bottom of Crystal Lake.
I don't think Zyrtec existed back then. I think you just had to deal with it.
Hence the movie.
Sniffle up and deal. So she is dead.
Yeah.
And then the orderly very soon after, who goes to look for her, is also dead. He's wearing it's a bathrobe, I think. It's supposed to be like an orderly thing, but I think he just brought his bathrobe. I think that's it. And I don't exactly know what happens to him. I mean, he also encounters the gloves guy.
Oh, I know what happens to him.
And I think like he either tears out his own organs or maybe his organs just kind of slip out. I mean, I think you really got to remember to zip up because that can happen if not.
That's lunchtime. You take out your guts and lay them on a plate, smear them with food, and put them back in. It can happen to anyone. It's so great because the whole time it's like there's this doctor off camera like, where is Nurse Sherry? Where is Nurse Sherry? God damn it, I'm like, man, this job sucks. She's better off dead.
Then a fog machine goes off and consumes his body. Yeah.
Oh man, he should have ripped his own guts out and ate them. That would have been beautiful.
Great. Some anthropophagus. Throw it in there.
Oh, baby. We cut to the house, the Hoffman house, and Jim has finally shown up, making his truly official entrance to the film. Mm-hmm. And there's a voiceover. I believe it is the spirit of the house. But as far as, it could be his internal monologue. It's the ad that he placed. Because his house is huge. And how is he going to pay for, the rent or... Well, I guess he owns it. How's he going to pay the taxes on this thing?
The utilities, man. It's expensive.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
This is in California. Water, man.
This guy doesn't look like someone who has electricity or plumbing. Come on.
There's a pool. Good enough.
There's like some light from the streetlights outside. That's good enough.
God. Well, they have flashlights, too. We see those later on.
I'm going to play this voiceover from this mysterious voice. Talking about what the ad says is so great.
Finally, they got the damn ad right. Girls, girls, girls. If you're between 18 and 25, unattached and beautiful, then I want you to share my 10-bedroom house with me for approximately $100 a month. Call Jim at the Boardinghouse.
Yeah, if you ever wanted to know what those guys on Craigslist were really like, well,
bingo.
Here's what they look like.
This is a fucking documentary. He starts fantasizing about the bikini girls, which we'll be seeing very shortly, and there's some wrestling in the hot tub and some boobies.
Yeah. He's anticipating like sexy encounters from later on in the film, but that one is very much like bordering on sexual assault. So,
it's such a good scene.
We have so much to look forward to.
Oh my god, it is one of the most awkward, great moments. That's partially scripted and partially just real.
Really real.
Really real. Next thing you know, we cut to Jim meditating on his desk, practicing telekinesis in his bikini underwear.
No, you missed something. We meet our heroine, Calla Sue, who is singing a Calla song. I think she's in the studio, perhaps, recording.
Oh my God, Jeffrey, my version doesn't have that scene.
Really?
Nope.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm mixing it up with something from the director's cut. However, I see how I got confused because before we meet Calla Sue, we hear a Calla song on the radio. That's why I wrote Calla song in my notes.
Jeffrey, you gotta keep the two versions separate, man.
No, it's just my note style. My note taking style is very cryptic.
So is this movie.
But this is important. Before he's driving in his car, he pulls up outside of his office. He gets out and he's wearing the orange version of Christopher Lee's sunglasses from The Howling Part 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf. Absolutely. It's
nice.
They're the worst early 80s sunglasses you could possibly imagine.
Love it.
And yes, then he is sitting, for some reason, almost nude on his desk in his office, levitating some shit. Well, more like he's like shaking some houseplants. And then he floats a towel over to him. I think it was going to be some autoerotic asphyxiation, but tragically he's interrupted before anything happens.
So there's a knock on the door, and for the next 100 hours of the movie, he is struggling to get dressed, making whoever's knocking on the door think he's in there with a girl. Mm-hmm. And, when you think that and the person's alone, they're just,
autoerotic asphyxiation.
Exactly. Leads right to it. I wish he'd never answered the door because my least favorite character is on the other side.
Yeah, I think his name is Subplot. I don't know his actual name. I think
his name is Joel.
Joel.
And he is
a raging drunk.
The worst. He is from that school of comedy where it's like subhuman vaudeville. Like, it's horrible. And he's like, I'm a crazy character, and it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But he's got some work for Jim. He hands him some papers, blah blah blah, about some contracts that haven't gone through on a big deal they're working on. Maybe. I don't think it has anything to do with the house.
No, it's some sort. We don't know. I don't know what Jim does.
Oh, well, I know what he does.
What he does for a living?
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, nobody pays you for that. Well,
yeah, well,
maybe on Craigslist, actually.
Michael Hutchins, he could tell you. From the grave.
Oh,
had to bring him up.
I'm going to make a dead musician joke pretty soon. So
Good. I like that.
What you got, a girl in here?
No, man.
No. Listen, I just came back from the club and I went. Are you listening to me? So listen, I was talking Gold Farm, and I hate to have you. Do you always dress that? I mean, what is that, a new style or something?
Yeah, punk, Joel.
Yeah. Well, okay. Now, could you? What do you got to drink?
Here.
Oh, thank you.
yeah,
Can we get to the sexy girls? Is it time for the sexy girls yet?
yeah, it's time.
Yay!
We're there.
Oh my God.
We go to the house, and all of these women have already moved in. We don't see any of them moving in, but the last one, Calla Sue, arrives at the house, and they all, her name is Victoria, but I prefer saying Calla Sue. It's
Of course, it's a cooler name.
It's a much cooler name. They help her move in. There's a bunch of ladies. They have names. They all they all look very different, but they're all exactly the same type of person. So it's very hard to distinguish any of them except for
here
Calla
we go.
Sue.
Victoria, Gloria, Debbie, Pam, Sandy, Cindy, Susie, Terry.
No, there's not that many people. You're
and
kidding.
Sue Ling. No, I'm not kidding.
There are that many people? I thought
Yeah,
there were
dude.
like 5.
No. They introduce a couple of them. A couple of them aren't even fucking introduced. They just show up in the middle of the movie. It's awesome.
Okay. Well, that kind of has blown my mind a little bit.
Yep.
So let's move on.
We got to meet the weird biker. Gardener.
Yeah, he's the gardener / handyman. He, we find out, just comes with the house. There's nothing you can do about it. In fact, it's like written into Jim's uncle's will because this guy's a Vietnam vet and he like saved the uncle in the war or something. I don't know. Anyway, here's my second Muppets reference. This handyman, who is played by John Wintergate in the most ridiculous costume imaginable, limping around. He looks like like an unholy combination of Animal, Dr. Teeth, and Floyd Pepper. He's got attributes of all of them.
Oh my God.
But it's like they all walked into
shit.
the pods from The Fly, and they came out the other side, and it just wasn't pretty.
Oh, man. He is limping around. He's got like, his arm is in a sling, but it's just a chain on his jacket. Oh, it's fucking crazy. Oh man, I love that guy.
He's a good character. Really well developed.
Oh, very, very. He's mumble
and articulate, very articulate.
Another mumblecore actor.
He's oh my God. Not only is this the first shot on video horror film, it's the first mumblecore horror film, which has sort of become its own genre.
Oh my God. Now, Jim, he's got his harem established at this house. He's hanging with the babes by the pool. Yeah. I feel so bad for anyone else who lived in this fucking neighborhood while they were shooting this movie. Just saying. Oh my God. Unless you're a perverted little kid peeping out the window, this would be a nightmare.
Or a gardener. If you're a gardener.
Yes, he's getting a massage from the ladies. And there's Pam gets stabbed with an ice pick.
Well, an important character arrives after Callus.
Please, tell me.
It's Debbie. She's like the only one we really have to pay attention to besides
Debbie's amazing.
Callus. She speaks with, maybe it's an English accent. Maybe it's a German. I don't know what exactly.
I'm going to play some of Debbie right now. She is the best.
Oh, I suppose all your rooms are rented.
I'm sorry.
Isn't there even a basement or an attic or something?
Yeah, she definitely is my favorite female character.
She
after Sherry, who's already dead.
Okay. She wants to move into the house, even though it's already full up with the 1,000 other women, I guess. Yep. But she's adamant she'll move into anything, and they're like, well, you've got like this broom closet in the basement. You could live in that. In the extended director's cut, we do get to see Jim showing her the room, and it's full of fake cobwebs and big plastic spiders that they have to brush out of the way.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pretty cute. I wish that scene was still in there.
No doubt.
But yeah, then Pam gets an ice pick to the hand.
Yeah, it moves by itself as though someone's using their telekinetic abilities. And after it happens, after she's screaming and there's blood and everyone's freaking out, I believe Jim says, Pam's okay. All of her fingers move. I checked them.
In the Stephen Thrower's review of the film in Nightmare USA, he makes a really good joke about how this means that Jim is probably a roboticist and all of the women are robot women, and that's how he knows that all the fingers are okay.
Oh, good job.
It's a good joke. After this, really sadly, they have to euthanize the ice pick because, it lashed out. And so state regulations say you got to put it down. So they do, and Callus buries it out back.
She buries the ice pick in the yard.
Yeah, she does.
Do we meet her cat, Pumpkin, yet?
We do. This all happened with this kitten in the house. Like, Pam got stabbed by the ice pick during the ruckus with the kitten. And Jim says, you gotta ditch that cat because he hates cats. He's fine with ice picks, I guess, but not into cats. Whatever. Pumpkin will show back up later.
Pumpkin is the star of this movie. Okay. So, the wacko gardener is walking around, and he surprises Victoria, who falls in the swimming pool in her already sheer nightie.
Becomes a little bit more sheer, soaking wet with water.
And this is the first moment where I was like, this is happening? They're really just naked in this backyard, for real, and it's, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Los Angeles, 1980. Yep.
Well, she just gets out of the pool and just stands there. For a
darn
while.
It is a long scene.
The camera lingers. Awesome.
Yep. This is the first moment I realized this is not a children's film.
Oh, I'm not convinced of that. It's got a lot of Muppets, recall.
That's very true.
We then cut to the gardener. Do you remember the gardener's name?
He's Gardner.
Okay, Gardner. Gardner is spying on another girl. I don't know which one this is. She's stripping for the shower, and he's watching her through the window. She gets into the shower and she's shaving her legs, and she cuts her leg a little bit. But that blood doesn't have anything to do with the blood that for some reason has just started forming on the wall of the shower. And
the wall is bleeding.
The wall is bleeding. No, I don't see a wound, but it's bleeding.
Yep.
And then something happens, and she screams. She screams. Her boobs press against the glass door repeatedly.
Yep, like she's being assaulted by something.
Yeah, it's like a scene right out of The Entity, really.
Or Incubus. Except the Incubus is invisible.
Yeah, so The Entity. I already had it.
Oh!
She emerges from the shower and is horrified to discover in the mirror that she has a pig face. And she coughs something up, and because it's very quick, and, we're watching something that was shot on video. It's unclear if it's a rat or a bloody tampon.
Oh,
could be
doctor.
Either.
It happens so quick that you'll swear it only nauseated you for a moment.
Yeah, it's a nice little scene. I think she kind of freaks out too much. I mean, she's screaming, everybody runs in. But I think that's just what she looks like on Sunday mornings. I don't know why she's so upset about it,
She just isn't near reflective surfaces during that time of the month. Someone, and I think it's Sandy?
That's what I wrote down, yeah.
She tries to befriend the gardener.
Just some mumbling happens.
There's more character development. He does talk about which battle he was injured in, in Vietnam. He actually mumbles very specific things. It's pretty funny, but oh man, it's wow.
Yeah, I don't care. Moving on to the next scene I don't care about. We learn about some guy. I think his name is Richard, right?
Oh yes, his name is Richard.
Yeah, Richard. He looks like a Brolin. I don't know which Brolin, but one of the Brolins.
Brolin with the homies.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. He's searching for one of the girls. I can't remember which one it is. I wrote it down. Cindy. He's looking for Cindy. Yep. Cindy is his rape victim / fiance. Goes,
my God.
It's a little bit of both. It's a weird subplot. I don't even know. I didn't note how it resolves, and I don't remember.
It doesn't.
That's kind of what I suspected. Yeah.
He has hired Harris to spy on the house and find Cindy.
Right. Harris is more important because funny things happen with him.
Oh my God, yeah.
Pretty soon. So, yeah, let's just move on. Richard is looking for Cindy.
Yep.
Who gives a shit? Okay. We get a scene of Jim getting a rub down at the pool.
This is the massage at the pool. Okay.
Because there's one. Of course. There's only one. This movie is wish fulfillment for John Wintergate.
Oh, it is.
He just
so
is constantly being rubbed down. Like his back, his head, his temples.
The girls are fawning over him.
All the time.
Oh, that's perfect.
After this scene at the pool, we have Jim in his Speedo still. I don't know if it's the cheetah print Speedo. There is a cheetah print Speedo. I don't know if there's multiple Speedos.
There is. It's terrifying.
He gets a surprise bed visit from one of the blonde girls. I don't know which one.
No clue.
One of them. They have sex. That's it.
But he's into metaphysics. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, it was a very metaphysical union between...
Bam! Oh, this is good.
Then there's a random knife attack. That's all I wrote. I have no idea why it happens or how.
Oh. I don't even have that in my notes.
Well, there's a random knife attack.
Oh, the knife falls out of the cabinet and almost stabs someone in the hand.
There you go. That's it.
It was so great. I didn't write it down.
Yeah. And then we have another major subplot that we all definitely care a lot about.
Yes.
It is Victoria making sure that her fellow band members are free for a performance on Friday night. Yep. And not to spoil things too much, but yeah, they're free. Don't worry.
They are freer than free.
Very free.
Christopher is his name. He flies in an RC control plane at the airport. There's even a joke about how the plane looks like it's backwards because it's one of those planes that has the engine in the back.
Uh-huh.
It's very stupid. Very stupid. And then shit gets confusing as shit with Harris. He manages to get picked up with some girls hitchhiking in a Cadillac. And then right in front of Jim's house, he gets thrown out of the car. Jim's like, hey man, I saw that happen. That's crazy. Want to go inside? And next thing you know, we get time travel. There's such a jarring cut here that all of a sudden Harris is at the house swimming with the girls.
Yeah, he just, he knows how to make himself at home.
Really, really at home. If you pause it and kind of frame by frame, you can see the TARDIS swoop in and drop him off in the pool. It's the weird Doctor Who subplot thing.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say he's flirting with the girls, but the girls are flirting with him. They toss him into the pool. Then we discover that he is, the informant for Richard. Yep. He makes a phone call to Richard saying, the girl's here. You can come and pick her up. Then he has sex with one of the girls.
Oh, it's Su Ling.
Yeah, Su Ling. And then he, goes to take a bath, maybe? I don't exactly know what he goes into the bathroom.
Yep, anyway. And there's a tub full of water.
Yeah, somebody was taking a bath. Or maybe
she was. No, it was Su Ling was. She finished taking a bath and he was in the room.
But again, now if they don't have running water in this house, which I guess we've seen that they have, so we can't even make that joke, really.
Someone screams, there's no boys allowed on the top floor, or no men allowed above the first floor. And I realized that I'm wasting my life. I should be out in Hollywood doing voiceovers where, director, he forgets a major plot point, forgets something that'll mess up the whole movie. Yeah. I'm the guy who's going to shout over that part of the movie to make sure everything works out. I'm that guy.
You're definitely the guy. Just put on your Camel Cigarettes t-shirt and head on down to Hollywood.
I'll stay away from the tub. Yeah. Promise.
Well, unfortunately, Harris doesn't stay away from the tub. No. He falls into it, and so does a hairdryer. And he is electrocuted with a flashlight in the mouth.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yep. There is, I believe that this ESP ghost is checking his molars.
Yep. He is in need of a root canal, my friend.
As R.L. Stein once said, experimental dentistry can be murder.
He never said that.
No, he said piano lessons can be murder, but...
Oh, cool.
I think that experimental dentistry is probably way more dangerous.
Maybe. Probably. Depends on what tools you got. If you got Calisu and an ice pick, you got problems.
I feel like Calisu is a type of, green, related to Cal, but it's like a hybrid. Calisu. Oh man, I love Calisu chips. I love just throwing them in my onion. My oven. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Dude, we don't know this episode at all. Holy shit. We see Joel and Jim on the golf course.
Wait, okay, but yeah, we're missing the fact that, all right, so this guy just died. What do they do with him? He dies in the house.
Nope.
I don't think we addressed this fact.
We're not allowed to know.
Okay.
Secret information.
Well, yeah, he's on the golf course with the drunk guy.
I'm pissed off again because Joel sucks.
Yeah, they talk more about the deal.
Goldfarb. The name Goldfarb is bandied about. I know that.
Don't care.
Exactly. It's a terrible scene.
Then a great scene happens right after this.
This is so good.
This is a scene where all of the ladies get together. They decide to dress Victoria up real sexy in a some sort of lingerie that is completely sheer, like most of her clothing is. She is going to go into Jim's bedroom and seduce him to steal his meditation tapes.
Mind control tapes. They actually refer to them as mind control.
Well, they definitely refer to these tapes as tapes. There are several times that the tapes, we hear that the tapes, they've got to get the tapes because they want to listen to the tapes. The dangers of improv is that if you don't tell your people what to say, they're just going to say tapes over and over again.
I wrote, the girls have a plan?
Calisu sings the song Lola, like whatever Lola wants, Lola gets. Which is actually a variant on an old folk tune that's titled Whenever Calisu Wants to Sing, Calisu Gets to Sing.
I don't remember that singing at all. Jeez.
Oh, she sings. Come
Man,
on, she
good
sings
times.
in
She
almost
goes to
every
see
scene.
Jim is in the bath, and she's in there talking him up and
She
asking
asked
him
about the pyramid grid on his bed or something, and she's like, "You really into those pyramid grids, bro?" And he's like, "No, not really." He says, "I'm into harnessing cosmic energies so I can learn the secrets of the universe."
Well, I miss the pyramid grids. Holy shit.
I don't even know what a pyramid grid is.
All I know is that Jim drops the soap, or rather makes the soap fly around the bathtub.
Yeah, he owns that bar of soap all over the place, all over the tub bubbles.
Dude, it is the best shit ever. The soap flying around in the tub. Are we going to see Jim's dick? Are we not? It's, oh man.
It's touch and go for a while there.
It's really tense. Like, I had the weirdest boner during this whole scene.
She makes some sort of, Kelsey makes some sort of comment about, like she only thought the gurus on high mountains could do that, but she pronounces gurus like ghouls. So.
Yeah.
I thought those ghouls on the high mountains could move soap with their brains.
So it doesn't turn into a sex scene, as turned on as we all are right now.
Yeah.
They have some horseplay and she falls in the bath and it's ridiculous.
And then he gets out and we do unfortunately have to look at his ass.
Yes, finally. Yeah. Now the movie is over because I've seen what I needed.
You make that stuff move?
Yeah, it's just
Where are the
energy.
strings? Come on.
No strings.
You mean you just made a move with your brain?
Yeah, it's focus, a mental focus with the mind.
I've heard about it, but I only thought that those gurus or whatever on the high mountains could do stuff like that.
Well, everybody can do it. It's easy.
I think that the girls are talking to Victoria after this, and they're confused because she didn't have sex with him, and they're confused that he's not that into sex.
Right. And we get the best line of the film.
Lay it on me.
He's not physical at all. He's too into metaphysics.
That's so meta. Physical?
So meta. But you did get the tapes. Great. I don't think they really do anything with it.
As much as we talked about the tapes.
They don't.
Those
I don't
tapes.
think they listen to them. The next scene we get is Jim spinning around in his sex torture machine, which is, I think it's like some sort of. No, I'm just going to go with that. It's a sex torture machine.
Isn't it one of those back stretcher deals? You put your feet in the thing and then you
like a rack.
Yeah, it's like you stretch out your back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be used for something.
I'm
for
certain
sex.
He does not use it for its normal purpose.
There's definitely lubrication involved. Maybe.
Our next scene after that is Dr. Teeth menacing Debbie in the jacuzzi with a chainsaw.
Oh, man. Don't you dare skip Victoria going to the library.
I definitely skipped that.
It was boring. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So menacing her in a jacuzzi with a chainsaw.
Oh, this is
But then
so good.
she grits her teeth and bulges her eyes at him. She's obviously going through a visible brain freeze.
Dude, seriously, this is the reward for any pain you might be experiencing from this movie. I mean, this is pretty fun, don't get me wrong, but this moment with the chainsaw and the gritting of the teeth, the fact that she's topless, it's fucking weird as shit. The actress is such a weirdo. It's great. Because she's supposed to be menacing, but this person does not know anything about, she doesn't know what the word menacing means.
No.
Oh my god, it's
she's
so good.
glaring like you denied her something.
Yep. It's
like a little child would.
It's awesome.
And then we get, oh man,
Jim's friends, right?
I didn't write anything about that. I skipped ahead, I guess.
His cop buddy comes to pay a visit.
Who's not really important. Gives us a little bit of information later on.
Yeah, he'll be back later for a hilarious scene, but it's
funny,
really pointless.
Yeah.
Everything goes dark, and where someone is attacked in bed. It's a nightmare sequence, but man, it is so hard to see what's going on. There's filters applied over things, and it's dark. I know it's someone wakes up from a nightmare, probably Victoria.
It is Victoria, yeah.
Okay.
So a skeleton hand menaces her.
Oh, I love that.
We also see that she has a portrait of herself, very large, blown up quite large, above her bed.
As we all do. We all have portraits of Kalasu above our bed.
And then she's woken up from the nightmare by one of her housemates. I think it might be Debbie, but I don't know. Banging a pot with pantyhose over her head, like right next to her, and is like, "Whoa, you can't take a prank."
Oh my god!
I don't understand.
So amazing.
That's
just her alarm clock.
But then something else happens. I think she goes back to bed, and then Victoria is attacked by an arm and a bright light that pops up through the bed.
Yep.
And then she runs outside and she's attacked by more hands.
Crazy stuff.
And then she wakes up and gives one of the longest, loudest, sweatiest screams I have ever heard in film.
I will play just a little bit of that.
Just turn the volume way down.
It is so irritating, and it just goes on and on. What did we watch?
But you know what? I really want to... It's hard to pull off a scene like that in a film with no money. So I really want to clap my hands together for them. It really must have cost them an arm.
Like
no leg.
Okay, just an arm.
Just an arm.
Just a gut?
just an arm, because there was a lot of arms in that scene.
Oh, I know.
It's a joke.
I was referencing Demon 6.
I know.
Okay, we're good. So I think Victoria starts her training as a metaphysical master at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, that breathing, that Vader breathing is back.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the force is strong within this one, my friends.
Well, we see them walking around on some train tracks. These train tracks are kind of important. That's how we know that Victoria and John are establishing their relationship.
Oh my
God. And she asked him to, tell me about your powers. I want to know. And so she starts to learn, and she'll get better in the rest of this movie.
There's actually a cool arc here. Like, out of nowhere, this idea of a guy who has psychic powers training a possible love interest in the same art to team up and battle something later, spoiler alert, is really the thing of the movie I actually really dug.
Yeah.
They actually had a cool idea.
Okay.
No way to execute it.
No.
Financially or talentily.
Talentily, yeah. It's a word.
Yay.
I think our next scene is the Cindy and Richard stuff. He comes and discovers her at the house, and he's really disgusted by the house. And not just for the normal reasons. He's he has a great line where he says,
"What is this, a harem?"
No.
Shit.
The house is trashed already.
And he talks to Cindy, really wants... This is when we get the rape flashback, which is really gross. And we see that's brutal. How he courts her. And then wants her to marry him. And she's into the idea, kind of. It's weird.
It is so... I think the actress didn't even know the relationship during the scenes. And they just added the rape scene in later. It is so gross. Oh my God.
But that's it, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any more with Richard and Cindy, so forget them. We move on to another scene where there's a lot of eating and food preparation in this movie.
Oh, thank God.
And this one, they're deciding what they want to have for dinner. And Jim asks them, and what they decide on Chinese food, but one of them says, she's trying to say chicken chow mein, but I think she says chicken chow men.
She totally does. She totally does. I wrote that down. She says chicken chow men.
I don't know maybe it was an intentional joke.
Yep.
I guess it could have been.
It could.
This is a comedy after all.
Oh man, that was where the comedy budget went. That was the joke money.
They spent their only arm on it. Okay, so that scene happens. I don't think we see them eating Chinese food. It cuts to Victoria continuing her training.
Oh, it's so good.
She's in a room with a cupcake candle clearing out her sinuses.
Mm-hmm.
She uses her powers to ruin Jim and blonde girl's date. I think the blonde girl's Debbie, but I don't know.
Yeah, she's on a date with Jim, whoever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
And Victoria spills the wine, thus ruining the date.
Mm-hmm.
But then she starts to practice her powers, and then it gets really confusing as to whether or not Victoria is an evil psycho with her powers, or the spirit who we've almost forgot about of the house is now like trying to kill people. It's really funny how these things are overlapped. It might even be an intentional mystery. I have no idea.
Sure.
Why not?
I think
right?
there are a lot of intentional things going on in this movie. Yeah,
I'm giving the movie the benefit of the
That was good. The next scene is one of the best scenes in the movie. It's a gun coming to life.
Oh my god.
A gun that's just sitting out for some reason on top of a Vogue Plus magazine.
No, actually, it was an advanced copy of Stephen Thrower's Nightmare USA. He sent a copy to 1980 for them to...
Listen, the Vogue Plus wasn't nearly as thick.
That's true. There wasn't enough ads.
No. The gun lifts itself up on the Vogue Plus. Then the Vogue Plus rotates, spinning at one of the girls. This is Cindy.
Yep.
Who is snapping on the couch. And it shoots at her fucking head. And just barely misses.
It shoots her hair. It shoots her in the hair. And what I love about this gun is that I swear I was waiting for someone to go, what? It's just a cigarette lighter. Because it does not look like a real gun at all, but it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Richard had a problem with that gun. When he was visiting Cindy, he picked it up and he's like, oh, you got guns laying around?
Shit.
I'm going to smack you some more. Rape flashback.
Oh.
Thanks, Richard.
Then we get a really riveting Pelican rock and roll scene when Jim and...
Yes. It's Cindy.
It's Cindy, okay.
Yep.
Jim and Cindy at the beach. They do some crystal hypnosis / sexy time on the beach.
This is good stuff.
Yeah. He's got some real good lines, Jim does, like, love is beautiful, warm and tender, and also very sandy and itchy. And they have sex. But he's hypnotized her first, which is really gross.
It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That's really not cool, Jim.
No. What happens? Somebody in gloves walks up to them,
yes.
does what we've all been wanting to do all movie long, and knocks Jim over the head with a fucking stone.
Oh, finally. I didn't even see that. I just saw the blood. I didn't even know he got hit with a stone.
Yeah, he gets hit. And then Cindy starts bleeding from every orifice uncontrollably.
It's so good.
It's really kind of gross and disturbing.
It's a really effective, crazy fucking scene.
Yeah.
It's like almost competently made and dark and disturbing at the same time.
Almost. I mean, almost competent.
I know.
I know. What she does then is like get up and then walk.
Yep.
And then just throws herself into the ocean.
She stumbles into the cold, icy waters of Southern California.
And and I forgot to point out, this is definitely the scene where Jim is wearing the cheetah print Speedo.
Oh, man.
And then it looks like the killer leaves Jim a note as if it's from Cindy.
Oh, yeah.
Like explaining why she's not there anymore.
If you blink your eyes real fast, like, you can still see that Speedo.
It's burned into my retinas right now.
Burned in. It's burned into the retinas, and it's on the inside of your eyelids, too.
Oh my god, you're right. I'm doing it right now. I see it. It's kind of like a magic eye. The more you stare at it, the more 3D it gets. Then we get another great, totally unrelated scene. This one is Victoria practicing more of her ESP. God. In this case, she is picked up a stuffed, I think it's a dog wearing suspenders.
I think it's a monkey. A dog monkey?
It's between the two.
That's right.
She uses it as a voodoo doll and beats the shit out of it.
Why? Why does she do this?
And
this is so great.
I think it's beating up Debbie, but I'm not sure.
I don't know who's being beaten up, but it's like, again, you have to wonder, what the fuck? Is Victoria evil? at this point because she's learning these powers. It doesn't.
Well, it's because there's like a love triangle, I believe, is what's meant to be going on here.
Yeah,
the love triangle is between Victoria, Debbie, and Jim, and Jim is currently in bed with Debbie.
Yep.
Because he's moved on very quickly from Cindy from earlier that afternoon.
Hey.
So yeah, and Victoria gives Debbie a bloody nose in her sleep.
A real beating.
And again, it's not really addressed afterwards, just Victoria laughing. That's about it.
It looks like she was thinking about breaking her arms at some point. Like, I was just waiting for her to snap all of her freaking limbs. She's tempted, man.
Next scene is Jim levitating an egg for breakfast.
Oh, yes.
That's the real way you make him over easy.
Oh, man. That's the most expensive special effect in the movie, right?
But he gets distracted and it drops into a glass. Is it just like a glass of, what is it?
I think he was making a smoothie and it had like an egg thing in it. It was great.
Right.
Well, now it definitely has egg in it.
Yeah, definitely. That's it. That's pretty much all that scene is.
Brilliant.
Again, lots of food preparation. Because you gotta keep in mind that it's like 15 people sharing one small kitchen. It's not a large kitchen. It's fairly small.
Nope.
Next scene is Victoria having another nightmare, I guess.
Yeah, she's supposed to clean the house to prepare for the party. And oh man, we slip right into another vaguely dark, hard to look at nightmare sequence.
She's menaced by a flashlight face in the closet. He was hiding in the closet. It's Sweetums again, although this time he looks more like a very large Jawa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's got glowing eyes.
And she screams a lot as she does, and she's met by Jim and somebody else. I'm not sure who, and they're eating pizza, and they offer her some.
Oh, that's so good.
It'll make her feel better. It's got my favorite line in the film, which is this. I think it's said by Jim. He says, "Pizza, good."
Yep.
That's it. Because, pizza solves all problems.
He wrote that line himself.
It's something that Jim learned from those ghouls up on the mountaintops.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Victoria starts to practice her powers some more. She's trying to open the fridge.
Yeah.
And she overdoes it. The fridge flies open and yogurt flies in her face.
By that we mean somebody throws yogurt on her face from off screen.
It is so obvious that someone throws it at her. It's so fucking funny.
And then Jim confronts her and she pretends that it's a beauty treatment regimen.
Yep.
Like
you never heard of a yogurt facial? Come on.
What happened to you? You cleaning the refrigerator? The hard way, I see.
Haven't you ever heard of the yogurt facial?
No, never heard of it.
Everyone's doing it now.
Girl, you need a shower.
What are you doing?
Come on, girl. Shower time. Here you go.
God. And then if that scene wasn't gross enough, Jim then drags her into the shower for some sexy time. Or possibly just hopping around.
Oh my God. He forgot everything he learned about the love scenes because, yeah, hopping around. Exactly.
I don't think John Wintergate has ever had sex.
Oh my God. Like, he assumes that when you're having sex, you move a fraction of an inch, like a quarter of an inch, or maybe an eighth of an inch, just back and forth real fast.
Yeah.
And that's sex time.
Maybe
oh my God.
Maybe that is for him. Like,
well, hey, he's got more than an eighth of an inch.
I don't know. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to the Speedos. I'm going to have to go back and freeze frame.
I looked.
And you looked. Yeah,
and I know from personal experience, dude.
You don't know what could be in there. There might be room. To just,
room to lay out.
Shove something in. Anyway, they're hopping around. And they're having sex, and as Victoria orgasms, I don't know why she would do that, but she does. As she does, we see intercut out back. Pumpkin is the name of the cat?
Yep.
Yeah, Pumpkin's having its skull hammered in.
Yes, and even though it's obviously fake, this is so disturbing. Like, it's long, lingering. It might be the longest shot in the movie.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh god, it's basically a hammer and a wig, and someone squirts blood at it.
Yeah. It's but it's proving that old slasher film adage true, sex equals pet death.
That's what happens in Friday the 13th, Part 3.
Does it?
Maybe.
I don't think it does. I don't think there's any pets.
We get another nightmare sequence.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't make any notes about that. What happened? Sure, it was super memorable.
There's an ice pick attack. I think Victoria sees herself stabbing Debbie in the throat with an ice pick. It's just another nightmare sequence, and
okay.
I think she laughs at her like the ice pick had no effect on her. And that's the whole dream.
Okay. I took a more important note, which is that there's a cream pie fight.
Oh shit! Like
I don't know why though. That's all I actually wrote was cream pie.
The pie fight is really important because the sound person, whoever fucking filmed this, is such a genius. We have a bunch of pies all laid out, and somebody's going through all the different flavors. There's this long conversation about apple cinnamon pie, banana cream pie, cherry pie, etc. But the pie fight happens, and a pie hits Jim in the face, and it sounds like it fucking hurt. Like, they threw that pie way too hard to kind of like take out some rage on him, and it just sounds like this thud when it hits him. Oh my god, it was great.
Satisfying.
My wife and I were both like, ow, oh shit.
Wait, she watched that far into the movie, your wife did?
She got up and left multiple times.
Okay.
This is one of the few movies of late that has driven Lietta from the frickin' living room, and not for lack of trying. She came back multiple times to try to hang with this, and she could not hang with this. She had to get out. Like, she had to, and I mean, like, this is just one of the scenes that she saw.
Yeah, I admire her for trying.
Heck yeah.
So the cream pie fight happens, and then Victoria discovers the dead cat.
Oh,
and
shit.
she cries a lot.
Train tracks! Get to the train tracks!
I haven't seen her cry this much since the ice pick died.
Oh.
And she thinks that Jim killed it. So yeah, she runs down the train tracks, and Jim goes and follows her. And I guess convinces her, like, no, but the show must go on. Yep. And it does, because the next note I took is about the 33 1/3 performance.
Oh, shit. Yeah, this band, the best thing about them is the drum set. I would love to have this drum set. Did you get the fucking look at this thing?
I didn't notice it really. No.
It is like plexiglass drums or some other clear plastic drums, but they're like super streamlined, and they like fade from light blue to yellow to orange. And I've never seen anything like it ever. And I love drum sets. So it was really fucking weird. And unfortunately, I don't get to hear what they actually sound like because they lip sync their 33 1/3.
Yes, they do.
And there's a magic show.
I just got to comment that, I'm so happy that somehow all of the members of 33 1/3 were able to work out the kinks in their very busy schedules so they could play this house party. They said it couldn't be done, that like the Smiths reunion was so much more likely.
Yep. Oh yeah.
They were actually taking bets like at a local bookie, and like Blind Melon Singer coming back from the dead to play a show was way
Jim
more
Morrison,
likely. Way more likely
Elvis
than 33 1/3 getting together. But it happened. It actually happened. We get to see it.
Sometimes when I'm talking with Nafa about Nirvana, because Nafa's a big Nirvana fan, I refer to Kurt Cobain as Kurt Kablam, and we thought that'd be a really good band name. That's all I got.
Okay, it's good.
Dead Rock Stars.
Love it.
You know what to do. Just make up your mind, then see it through. Feels so strange whenever they come home. You're driving that crazy when you're cold as a stone. It's time that you make this one region.
Oh man! Luckily, Joel shows up with the contract so that I can punch myself in the face some more. This contract, what is it for?
I don't know.
Nothing. It's some work-related thing. Jim is excited. They celebrate. He invites Joel to party with them. And that's all. That's the whole point.
Hey, don't think about it. Just...
They pass around the peace pipe at the party, and that's when I wrote in my notes, real drugs. They are smoking some fucking shit. And there's no way it's just for tobacco use only. They are getting high as fuck on this movie set, man. More.
Yeah, I'd say it's likely. That seems like a good educated guess.
Thank you. I'm very proud of myself.
Yeah, you should.
For the really obvious thing I noticed.
Oh no, it's not obvious at all. Definitely, you did it.
Jim the cop. Oh, excuse me, Jim's friend, the cop, who the fuck knows who he is. He comes and questions Jim about Cindy's body, which popped up on the beach, and asks him about when was the last time he saw Cindy.
I was so busy listening to the Sweet Tunes.
Oh man,
I just
33 and a third.
I stopped taking notes about plot notes.
Yeah, it's 33 and a third. It's a reference to all of the male band members' giant penises, or the speed of which you play a record. But Victoria finally gets her chance to shine, at least in the not really long cut of the movie, where she is lip syncing her song, and I just wrote in my notes, "Oh man." Oh no! Oh man, it's so not good. It's so not good.
No, the songs are awesome. I love.
They're
Callus's.
fun.
I love the Callus songs.
Reach out, be right. You're not as cool as you play the beat. Communicate all your true thoughts to me. It's time that you
They're really good. I want a Calla record. That doesn't really work so well.
They probably have a CD you can buy.
I'm sure they do. The next note I took was Jim the cop. He's possessed.
Oh, it's so good.
By our killer. He's possessed to shoot somebody.
Yes.
I don't know who.
He's questioning one girl. I think he might be questioning Debbie. And then, or Sandy, or Sue, or fucking, who knows the fuck he's talking to. But all of a sudden, he pulls out his gun because he's being attacked by the spectral force, the Sweetums. He's screaming, no, he starts shooting. And now the black girl who dresses like a teacher has showed up in the movie at some point. Mm-hmm. One of the girls, I have no idea what her name is. She's vaguely in the movie. She definitely dresses up. She never gets naked. So she's just really conservatively dressed. He shoots her.
Yeah.
He shoots her, and then he turns the gun on himself. And it is so amazing. His plaintive screams that he's gonna die. Oh, they're fucking hilarious. It's a little wonderful.
Yes. And then he shoots himself, and nobody at the party notices, even though it's going on at the party.
During the 33 and a third performance, what could you notice?
Well,
but 33 and a third.
I mean, they are just enrapturing, enchanting, you might say. And they must be very, very loud. The only person who notices is, of course, our gardener friend, who notices and then immediately gets stabbed with some sort of gardening tool.
Exactly.
At least he died doing what he loved.
Gardening.
I was going to say peeping.
Oh, good point. He does stumble into the party bleeding to death, and instead of helping him, everyone's like, oh, he's just drunk.
Well, that's true too, but...
Oh, shit. Oh, man. We get some cat fighting. I mean, some catty girl fighting. Pam and one of the other chicks are now bitching at each other. It's probably the only real moment, so far, other than drug smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. It is so good. It is so fucking good.
Yeah, feels real. Feels real.
Pam goes into the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
To chill out and bring some food out.
Are you sure her name isn't Perm?
It's definitely Perm.
Okay.
Perm immediately rips her own fucking eyes out, and her eyeballs fall in the dip.
Is it a dip? I thought it was like oatmeal or something.
It was. I think it was supposed to be some kind of party food. I don't know, but her eyeballs are definitely out.
I think it was oatmeal, and that what happened is that they were all out of raisins in the house.
Oh shit!
Because if you put 15 women in a house, all the raisins are gonna vanish. That's just what happens.
That's eerily true.
Yeah. So
you know what? I did forget a scene, man. The one of the things I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
the other real moment was when the two girls were wrestling in the hot tub, which was one of
it says fantasy sequences.
Yeah. But then it actually happens later, and two girls are goofing off. They're wrestling in the hot tub, and one of them pulls the other's top to the side so her boobs pop out. But that's not what's important. What's important is the girl whose boobs are exposed. It might be Debbie, I'm not sure. She gives the other actress a look like, you fucking bitch. Like, and I don't mean acting. I mean like for real. And the movie just comes to a stop for a second as it's like, should we be filming this? And of course the question is, yes, we should be filming this. And then she resumes she gets back into character and starts goofing off again. Like, she almost probably killed that girl for real for a split second. She had to think about it. Oh, wait, there's cameras filming this. I can't murder this person. I don't know when it happened. I just had to talk about it because I loved that part.
It's a good part.
Thank you.
And then we just get the end of the movie.
Oh, man. But don't forget about Joel looking at the eyeballs drunkenly. That was good.
I missed
that was the only good thing he did, was he's looking at the dip like, oh, and he mumbles a joke. God only knows what he said.
Damn, I'm so sad I missed that scene.
But yeah, chaos at the party. It all goes to hell in a handbasket. Sort of.
Yeah, so Debbie reveals her true form.
Oh, yeah.
That of Deborah Hoffman.
Yeah, bigger hair, much bigger hair.
Much bigger hair. Technically, I think that really she's not Debbie. She's only Zool.
Yes.
She gets super 80s hair metal hair.
Oh my god, it's so good.
And has monster voice, where she's like, she's got her normal voice, although she's pitched up way high, and then it just turns into demon voice where she's like, Daddy.
Oh,
it's pretty good. Who is she calling Daddy? Who is that person?
I have no idea. She's talking to Jim, but then she's talking about like how she was touched by her father.
But there's also that
mommy
guy.
Caught her.
There's that guy who looks like it's somebody dressed up as somebody else to look old with like.
Yeah. Oh, that guy with the cocaine. That dude had cocaine, man, and she's calling him Daddy.
Yeah. And then she pulls his heart out and like eats it.
Shows
or
it to him. Oh my god, dude.
I don't know.
We are struggling. This is awesome.
Deborah Hoffman. That's it. You're Deborah Hoffman. Debbie.
Yes. And you are trespassing. This is my house.
Chaos reigns, man.
So now we know who our villain is.
Yeah, it's Debbie all along. Oh, surprise!
Sure. Jim and Victoria team up for their psychic power battle.
It's a psychic breathe off. Yeah.
Oh, it's like, if only the movie was coherent, this would be genius. There's all kinds of crazy video effects. There's all kinds of crazy like lens effects, and then smoke machines and lights and loud everything.
It actually really reminds me of certain like faces that Debbie makes in this scene remind me of Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me, Laura's death scene, which is like really trippy and horrifying.
Yes.
She makes really creepy faces. This is just like that. Or maybe it's not Fire Walk With Me. Maybe it's the I think it might be the TV show. Yeah.
I forget. I mixed them up now because I've watched both recently.
Well, I mean, the death scenes in both. I don't know. It might be one or the other. Anyway, it's not horrific, but it's aiming for it. Is that it?
We get some more case file closed and reopening and opening and closing.
Yeah, always. Yeah, crumple it, throw it.
It's my last page of notes.
Did you throw it?
Oh, yep, Crisco almost got up and chased it, but he's too tired.
Yeah, me too.
He's sleepy. Oh my god, Jeffrey, what the fuck?
There's an alternate ending in the...
Oh, tell me, please.
Oh, well, it's not that interesting.
Well, no, the 3-hour cut fascinates me in theory, and I want to milk it for whatever you got out of the parts.
Well, the alternate ending gives us closure.
Ooh.
Not really. We see Jim and Victoria in the hospital, and they talk for a couple minutes about nothing interesting. And then we cut back to a realtor showing off the Hoffman house, which apparently has gone back on the market. And the person who is deciding they want to buy it is Debbie.
Oh.
Okay.
That was sort of in the ending voiceover.
Yeah.
But I forgot who Debbie was, so it didn't make
Yeah, because she disappeared, right, or something. They never found whatever. All right. Let me tell you about the longer version of the movie.
Do it.
The nearly 3-hour cut. I did not watch the whole thing because it is enormously boring. It is every scene in the film plus a bunch more, and they're just a lot longer. That's about it. You can see why they cut it down. Their choices in cutting it down make it what it is. Like, the film still doesn't really make much sense when it's in its full form, but it's not as entertaining because it doesn't cut so quickly between all of these bonkers things. Instead, you've got really long scenes where eventually something kind of bonkers happens. And that's just not quite as fun as what we just recounted.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, there was very little in the... I think I probably watched about half of it. I skipped around because, again, it was pretty boring. There was nothing there that I felt was super essential. I did like that one scene where they show Debbie the room and there's the big plastic spider. That was pretty good. But
God.
Other than that, you could definitely stand to get rid of it all. The only really amusing thing about this director's cut is that because it was edited in 1999 and there must have been some sort of basic computer video editing software applied to it.
Oh my God.
John Wintergate applies some really bizarre transitions between scenes, and I would say that they are very liberally applied all over. Like, there's this one scene that's really great. Oh man, I forgot to write down what it was. It's Jim doing something. It's not something that's very interesting. He repeats it with a stupid video transition effect like 4 times. Holy shit. And he keeps cutting out with all of these terrible wipes that George Lucas would be embarrassed to use.
Nice.
In a Star Wars film.
Is it pizza good over and over again?
It's not pizza good over and over again. I think it was something with him taking off his tie or something. I can't remember. It was so stupid. Yeah, do not approach this film by watching the director's cut.
No.
Watch the I can't even believe I'm saying this, the theatrical version of the film. That's the one you got to see.
Holy shit.
And then maybe dive into the other one if you just love it so much that you need it all stretched way the hell out. I can also talk more about the DVD itself. It's got a lot of special features. It's a whole lot crammed onto the disc. The only stuff that I like is the 33 1/3 / Teeth. That's the real name of the band.
Really?
Yeah, Teeth. That's a great name. All of their music videos and some performances of theirs. Those are great. The music videos especially are awesome.
Oh man,
they're so goofy and a lot of fun. But there's a lot of behind the scenes Q&A. There's a commentary. It's all super boring. John Wintergate and Calla Sue, who have been married since before the making of this film. They're still married now. They've been together for a very long time. It's nice when love conquers all like that. They're unfortunately very boring people. Or at least when they talk about this movie, they don't really have anything interesting to say. I'm sure they seem perfectly nice, and I'm sure they're very interesting normally. They have nothing that helps us understand this movie. I don't think they understand this movie. I think, again, it just kind of happened. There's a lot of drugs. Crazy time, man. That's about all I can say in explanation of what we just went through.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to ask the burning question.
Okay.
Do you like this movie?
Oh, yeah, I fucking love it. It's great. It's awesome.
Nice.
I've seen it. So this is my third and quasi-4th time watching it, because I've watched it 2 times before, and then I watched it again to take notes, and then I watched the most of the longer cut.
Wow.
So yeah, I've seen it, and it doesn't get old. Again, I think I've explained all of the reasons I like it. It's totally unique. There's nothing quite like it. And in the ways in which it should have, had more of an influence on the shot on video subgenre, the fact that it did not is, I think, really telling about its unique properties. And why it's something to really treasure today. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you feel about this movie?
I both hate and love this movie equally. I really, there's parts I'm just jumping for joy, and then the rest of it, I'm just like, what? Wow. I guess I'm not the biggest shot on video fan. I'm definitely a fan of weird shit. Some of this is just a little unpleasant, which is probably why I don't like it more. Whole Richard subplot as he's menacing Cindy is, as short as it is really, really disturbing. Even as dumb as the cat death is, it's too well done. It's in meanness, not in execution. It's just this lingering animal abuse that's
it's
even staged bothered me.
It's icky.
It's really dark. It's a dark road there. But man, oh man, I kind of recommend you see this film and never ever watch it. Don't watch this, but I urge you to see this. Equal measures. It's fucking crazy. The other thing I really hated about this movie was the constant credits and the computer printout stuff, which even with the narration helping me, it was really irritating. I was like, wow, that's 3 minutes, at least 3 minutes of holy shit, what are we doing here? I do have a little bit from Stephen Thrower's Nightmare USA, which we've been referencing here.
Please enlighten us.
I mean, honestly, folks, he is one of the best writers on genre movies. He loves it all. He's really great. And this little, I'm not even going to read the whole paragraph. I'm going to read what I consider the important part of this paragraph. This sums it up pretty good. He says about Boardinghouse, just as mathematicians had to invent imaginary numbers, like the square root of a minus figure, to make certain calculations work, we need to invent an imaginary aesthetic if a film like this is to yield its pleasures. And the keynote is pleasure, not making sense. The confusion and car crash plotting are essential to the fun. I don't know what to make of this film. I don't know what I'm supposed to think. I don't know where I am in relation to it or within it. These feelings are exhilarating, and they happen in only two places: extreme art cinema and the weirdest shores of horror. Stephen Thrower.
Yep.
Man.
Pretty good.
He made me enjoy the movie more just by reading about his whole review is really fun. The book has chapters where he devotes entire chapters to a whole movie, and I was sad that this one didn't have its own chapter.
Yeah, I mean, again, it seems like it warrants it, but at the same time, I think that those making it were kind of in a haze the whole time. I don't think they have much to say.
Oh, he even admits that he was high when he watched it.
Oh, yeah. Probably helps, man.
I'm sure it helps.
So I wanted to read a little something from the Bleeding Skull book.
I also have that book.
Yes, by Joseph A. Ziemba and Dan Budnick.
Yes.
They collaborate on this review of Boardinghouse. I want to read a couple choice lines from it that I thought were really apt. The first one is the first line of the review, which reads, "Does this film even exist?" That's it. A little further down. To call this LA shot film insane would be an understatement, unless you're wearing a thong while saying it. Which I agree with that. This is a film that slipped away from a world where this sort of thing happens all the time. It's cinema with human beings in it, but possibly not made by human beings. Maybe it comes from the duck world that Howard the Duck comes from? It's what they think humans get up to on average days.
Shit. So true. But it's true. It's what we do.
But they actually they go on to be rather negative about the film overall.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they say that it doesn't really have the same sort of repeat viewing characteristics of something like The Last Slumber Party or Don't Go Into the Woods.
Interesting.
They say that there are really good moments, but that actually put a lot of the blame on Calisu, saying that everybody else kind of pretends they're in a horror movie, but she is just having fun and singing rock and roll songs.
But I love her.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with them. I mean, I do agree that that's kind of just what she's doing, but I don't think it detracts from the movie. I think it only adds to it.
She really reminds me of another actress, and I cannot put my finger on it. Like another actress who was active at the same years.
I agree.
So I was
she has
really
a certain
surprised.
quality to her that reminds you of other people. And it seems like she could have, like, you know, been a, I don't want to say star. She could have been in other things.
She's definitely an actress.
She,
as opposed to a lot of the other eye candy and
I mean,
non-actors.
An actress, you mean she was in one episode of the TV series Night Court, playing a character named Bambi. And her and John Wintergate both had brief roles in the movie Terror on Tour from 1980, which is a god-awful slasher movie. It's so bad.
Wow.
But I have not seen them in it. I'll have to go back someday and look for them.
Yeah, that Terror on Tour, man. It's no Rocktober Blood.
Oh, boy. Both of those movies are terrible. They're almost like the same movie in my brain because they're so
Rocktober
terrible.
Blood, it's no Rock and Roll Nightmare.
That one's a little bit better.
I know. I just wanted to bring up the Thor, the Mickle Thor.
I like Thor a lot. I watched this like 12-minute long YouTube video of this guy showing off his Thor collection on vinyl. He has a lot of Thor vinyl.
Dude, that's badass. Holy shit. John Mickle Thor for the win.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Man, that's more than all I got. This was definitely a very interesting experience.
Very special episode.
Wow.
Hello, This is the Doom Show.
Yeah, this is insane. I mean, looking at what else we have to cover, I mean, I made a joke about, hey, let's just watch Doris Wishman's A Night to Dismember and not take notes and then just talk about it. And you're like, that would be impossible. Now let's get back to Boardinghouse. Which is funny because Stephen Thrower references A Night to Dismember in his review of Boardinghouse.
I think A Night to Dismember is maybe even a little bit more crazy than this.
Yeah, we couldn't talk about it, but yeah, it would definitely be. It's just interesting to watch it with you and to watch your face. I'll watch you as you react in terror.
Yes, that is what my face would look like.
Yep. I knew it.
Plus, there would just be a beer shoved into it.
Oh man, as long as it's delicious beer.
Yep, it's the only way to go.
I'll have some Gatorade or something, or some water.
Some Gatorade.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotta replenish the electrolytes.
Some Crystal Light.
Oh god, that's even worse. I don't know if that's worse. That's like a would you rather? Would you rather drink Crystal Light or Gatorade? I think I'd rather just let Jeffrey Combs kill me.
It depends. Am I doing yard work? Then yes, Gatorade. I did think of something that I should have mentioned earlier. I might even edit this in later.
Okay.
Boardinghouse makes me think of what would happen if you took the party scene from Ghoulies and stretched it out to 97 minutes. That's what Boardinghouse makes me think of.
That's pretty good. Boardinghouse reminds me of what it was like to have roommates.
That would bang on pots to wake you up with their pantyhose on their heads.
Yeah, and they were constantly giving me head massages.
Oh my god.
I was always wearing a Speedo.
Were you out by the pool getting your massage?
Well, we called it the latrine.
I just remember that time that Debbie scared off that guy with the chainsaw. She just bared her teeth at him and he gave up, man.
Yeah. Debbie was never very good at paying her rent on time.
There's so many movies in the movie we just talked about. Like, there's so many potential other films that they just threw all into one movie. Like, Wintergate, the guy should have like 12 movies or 20 movies that no one's ever seen on IMDb, but then he has this one that has elements from all of them at once.
And they never made anything else. They apparently, from, again, learning this from Nightmare USA, they apparently made a nice family comedy that they say, quote, could play on TV. Whoa. I strongly doubt that, but I really want to see this movie. Apparently it hasn't been released. I guess that they alleged that like the distributor was like going to black market it or something. I don't understand what they're talking about half of the time.
Oh man.
But it hasn't been released, and that's too bad because I would love to see it.
Holy shit. That's so great. Folks, thanks for listening. That was insane, and I hope we drove you insane.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we should say thanks for listening. We should say we're sorry that you listened.
No, that's only if they watch the movie to prep for this episode. That's where we're sorry. But not sorry, too, because you need to see this, but don't watch it.
I'm not that sorry. I'm like a little sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry if you died.
I mean, under no circumstances watch this movie, but I highly recommend you see it.
I would have to concur.
Or is it seeing versus watching? Is it experiencing versus living through?
Seeing is believing, they say. And breathing is levitating.
Just make sure that he checks your fingers.
And don't drop that egg.
And don't let that soap get away from you.
And rub the yogurt into your pores.
Ooh. Thank you, Jeffrey.
You're so very welcome.
Good night, folks.
If you would like to contact Hello, this is The Doomed Show. Please email us at doomedmoviethong@gmail.com or check us out at facebook.com/HelloDoomedShow. We are also on Twitter. Sorry about that. @DoomedMovieThong. #HelloDoomedShow. For the old ass episodes that you missed, find our archived episodes at doomedmoviethong.com. Don't forget to eat fruit and veggies.
Uncommon Interest, a podcast where I, your host, Craig Chaos, plays you some kick-ass music. I talk about some comics and movies that are a little off the beaten path that you should definitely check out. So stop on by and give a listen at uncommoninterest.libsyn.com.
Your balls are showing.
Uncommon Interest.
Hello, everyone. I am Rod Barnett.
I'm Troy Gwynn.
And we are your hosts for NashiCast, the podcast about the films of Paul Naschy. We, for over 5 years, have brought you the joys of Spanish cinema, filtered through our brains to you.
Yes. Now, what is it that qualifies two Southern boys to talk about films that came out of Spain? And I can't think of a single thing.
There's nothing that qualifies.
Nothing. Except that we just love them.
We love them. NashiCast covers the films of Paul Naschy and any other Spanish horror film that we can pretend we know something about.
Yes. If you love beautiful women wearing incredibly short miniskirts in subarctic temperatures, chased by werewolves in leisure suits.
If you love werewolves, vampires, unidentifiable beasts, or crazy people driving women around and talking like a maniac to them.
Yes, flying cats, beheadings with axes.
Blood that looks like melted crayons.
Shambling zombies, yeah.
Some of the films that we've covered in the past are Mark of the Werewolf,
Howl of the Devil,
Vengeance of the Zombies,
Horror Rises from the Tomb,
Tombs of the Blind Dead,
Vampire's Night Orgy.
Ooh, yes. Join us on this journey through the golden age of Spanish horror where Paul Naschy, Leon Klimovsky, Jess Franco, Armando D'Osorio take us through a filter Espanol.
Join us for the NashiCast.